Hello my little M&Ms, welcome to another Minis Models of Mayhem's video. So, what we got going on in this one? Well, about a week ago, Games Workshop did one of their little preview videos on Twitch, and they released a whole load of Orky stuff for 40k and Kill Team, which is awesome, blew me away. Always been a bit of an Orc fan, had several Orc armies. Obviously, built the Orc Warlord. Link somewhere around here. So yeah, and I'm sitting there watching it with a friend of mine, and we're seeing all the new commandos for Kill Team, on all the Beast Snagger stuff, and it looked brilliant. But there was one piece of scenery that I think is going to have a use in the game that really caught my eye, and it was this one. It was the Big Ed Boss Bunka. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? And I saw that and I thought, yeah, that looks cool. I think I can make that, and I think I can make that out of junk and stuff from around the house and stuff from the recycling bin. So I did, and this video is going to show you how I built this bad boy. So stay tuned for that. Now, normally this is the bit where I say, if you want to do that and you want to see more from me, smash the subscribe button. It's just down there. Take a second, just push that. Not going to say that in this video. And I usually would go on about, clicking the like button and the bell button to get notifications. And sometimes I might even mention my Patreon. Not going to do that in this video. We're going to go straight to the build. So let's crack on. Ahoy, hoy, lovely people. Here we are again. Back at the crafting table. And a load of crap. Right, let's get that out of the way. We don't need that yet. Let's just go through some of the parts we've got. There we go, check that away. So, yeah, this Orky, was it the Big Ed Boss Bunka, whatever it's called. So we're going to make something like that, because, I'm not going to pay money for it to come out, and it's quite a cool thing. But yeah, so let's smash one out. So what have I got? I've got a cream cheese pot, all washed out, obviously. That's all been cleaned. So we'll have that as the base. We won't need the lid. And that'll be the base. I've then got a kitchen tube, which will go on the base like so, to build up the middle section. And then I've got one of these. It's quite a soft plastic, but that shouldn't matter by the time we've got stuff, card stuff stuck all over it. But this is from like one of those instant noodle type affairs. Yeah, so we've got that, and that will kind of be cut down, and that will sit on it like so. Anyway, this the thing is to get going really. Other things you're going to need some thick card, some corrugated cardboard I've got there. That's just single wall. I've got some corrugated sheet in here for decoration. I've got some garden wire. This would be great for running pipes and stuff up the sides. Also going to raid the recycling for some cereal packets, food packaging, that kind of thing, to make some thin metal plates and stuff. But the first thing we've got to do is we've got to give these a bit of a sand, because they are various different types of plastic, and we all know that it's difficult for stuff to glue to it. Now, we will be using a glue gun on this project for a couple of reasons. First reason, it's quick. We can get it down and done pretty quickly. And also, because we're dealing with like sort of conical shapes, the glue gun the glue will be good for filling in the gaps, the inevitable gaps and stuff you're going to get whilst we fix sort of square plates to round objects. So that's why we're using that. There'll be a bit of super glue later on. But first things first, let's get these all sanded up, make them all nice and roughed up so we can get a nice key on them. And then we'll get back to start getting these bits. We'll glue these all bits together, and then we'll see how we go from there. So, sanding time for me, but for you, blink of an eye. Right, that's these bits all sanded off. Look at that. Look. Oh, look. I think I've immediately made an elven tower. Anyway, ignore me. Right, that's all been. They've all been sanded nicely, so we should get a better bond now. And I'm just drawing out a bit of. Got myself some single wall corrugated cardboard, just from an old box, probably an Amazon box or something like that. I've just drawn around the top of the Bit of autofocus, thank you very much. Bloody autofocus. Just draw of the cream cheese lid, tub, sorry, and that will go on top. And then I'm just going to draw around the bottom of this one, and I've got a horrible feeling, yeah, they're very similar in size. So that's pretty decent. That kind of works out quite nicely. So I'm just going to draw around the bottom of this one. And this will give us, then I'll cut them out, and then we'll glue them. Lovely. There we are. That's that done. So yeah, we'll cut them out, and then we'll glue them. The hot glue gun's powering up. Yeah, hot glue. Hot glue. And then we'll glue them down. And then we can glue the whole structure together. And from then on, it's just, then that's the actual sort of tricksy build section done, really. Then the next bit is just decoration, which is pretty cool. So it's a pretty good, pretty quick and easy build. Oh, while I'm at it, while I've got the scissors in my hand, I'm just going to cut down my tube as well. Now, I haven't got an Ork ready, because I'm still doing my boys, but we'll be using Lieutenant Varus as a scaling thing, so I reckon approximately 2 Varuses. Mark it off. Flatten it out a bit. Remember, this is an Ork build, so we can be as rough as we like here. It's almost like when we do our Necromunda builds, but you can be a lot rougher, actually. And then, there we go, that's that done. So we'll use that bit as well. Is that straight? It's a little bit wibbly wobbly. Let's just take a little edge off there. Yeah, that's about right. Cool. Right, let's get these cut out as well. Yeah, so we can fly through this as a build, and this would be great. Now, I'm just going to go onto the inside of the line, because obviously we're going to be putting card and detailing on the outside of the pots that we're using, and we don't really want this cardboard to get in the way of that. So that's that one done. Chuck that over there, and then we'll cut this one out. So. There we go. No one will be able to tear themselves away from the screen during the time he cuts the cardboard. There we go. Riveting stuff. Riveting. So, right. Gonna let the glue gun heat up. And then we'll glue these together. Just remembered, using Lieutenant Varus as a guide, I've just made a mark on this cup, because obviously I need to cut this bit off because that's far too big for the top. So just made a mark roughly where Varus's head's come up. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. This isn't the safest way to do this, but it's the quickest way. It might not even work. I don't think my scissors are sharp enough, so no, they're not. So hang on 1 second. Grab a knife. A knife. He's back. Go on. Oh. For a soft plastic, this is very tough. What the hell? There we go. Quick slice it. Doesn't have to be neat. It's an Ork build. In fact, the rougher on this one, the better, because the corrugated card and the cereal packet we're going to do is going to go around the top of that. So that's that quickly sliced off. That we'll keep all of that. Why not? And I think, let's see if the glue gun's ready to go. So, going to put a bit on the lip, which will give us some good mounting points. And we're just going to plonk that. I think that's the big one. I mean, they're roughing. It's virtually the same size. So we'll plonk that. And there we go. A bit of plonkage. So that's on there. Nice. Awesome. Smooth off any bits of overhang for the glue. Lovely jubbly. That one over there. Been attacked by cardboard. Right. Some big old blobs on here, because it's a bit of a lip. We want the lips to, we want it to adhere, don't we? So just plonk that one on there as well. Give it a bit of a squish down. Wet my finger a little bit. It's obviously from burning. That's an old chef's trick. That's that. And then while we've got the glue gun out, let's That look about right to you? That looks quite cool to me. Maybe just a little bit off this. Maybe a bit too tall. Let's do that. Let's chop that off there. Might be a bit too tall. Let's have a look. That's probably a bit better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Right, and while we're doing that, let's try and get a bit around the edge. Now this one, we can always strengthen this at a later date. And obviously, hot glue looks a little bit like weld lines. So that always works out quite nicely for orcs. Again, try and centre it as much as you can. Doesn't matter if it's not centred. We can just, we can work with that. Again, it is Orky, so I'm just going to build a bit of a build like that. I need to change my glue gun now. It's all right. I'm going to add another glue stick. Get this all stuck together. Cool. Alrighty, so it's time to do some detailing on this thing. So you might recognise some of these bits. These I've taken from the Spritz spray bottles. When I built the boat way back, video linked in the bottom. I was quite impressed with the variety of gubbins and bits you get in those bottles, especially like these little widgety things. So these are going to be great. These are going to be good as like an eye. Because remember, this thing's supposed to be like a gargant head, like a repurposed gargant head. So that's going to be great for like a pair of eyes. And these, I'm thinking, these might go on the side as almost like the jaw sort of pistons, like so. I think that'll look quite cool. So that's that. But first of all, what we've got to do before we start using any of these gubbins is we've got to get some card and stuff on here to make it look like it's been built out of riveted together bits of old card. And that's where your trusty old box of cereal comes in. So really simple. Just get yourself a pair of scissors, cut a strip. Doesn't have to be dead straight, the lines. And then you've got your strip and literally just cut various lengths, really. And that's all you have to do. That's it. Done. There you go. And then we're going to glue these. I might tidy that one up a little bit because there's rough and there's rough. I'll also do the same with some corrugated paper as well. Just cut some strips. And this one you can actually put together like that and go. And that gives you some smart, nicely shaped up bits there. So what we need to do is you need to get your glue gun. And we need to put a splotch on there. I'll need another stick in a minute, but splotch that on like that. Get your card, put it on there. I've gone over the edge there a little bit. Again, and of course you're going to get these gaps now, and that's why we're using the glue gun, because we can fill those gaps as we go around. So that's whacking another stick, and then I'll remelt that section there, and we'll put some more glue on here. So, and then we'll just put a little bead on there because I think we might overlap this. Like that. And then get one of our bits like that and we'll plonk it on like so. And we'll carry on and we'll go around and we'll do the whole thing. We'll do this bit here, we'll do the top. And I think that'll look, and then we'll go and then after that I think we may have to talk rivets. Let's talk rivets. Back in a bow. That is all the boarding out and stuff. I might do up there. We'll see. I might have some pipes and stuff hanging down there first. But so that's the main board there. So we can actually start detailing now. So I've got some random bits and bobs. These are all from all the plastic stuff here is from spray bottles, all taken apart. These kind of I-beams were left over from a previous build. These have just been made out of medium chipboard and just glued together. Now they are going to go sort of either side here. Now actually, these have not been cut down. These have not been made perfectly. These were just left over and they are absolutely perfect to go either side there. And that's where the big tusks will go. So they need gluing on. I've got these here. These were taken from the inside of a squirt bottle, and what I've done, I've been playing around with this bit, and that will go. I've chopped them down a bit and then glued them two together, and they will go there to give kind of like the sort of jaw actuators, the sort of things that would actually move the jaw up and down if it was still on a gargant's head. So that's pretty cool as well. And then we'll use these bits. Perhaps we'll get on there. We'll get an eye on there, kind of thing. You know, like a targeting eye or something. And we need to cut like a little nosy bit. So we'll do that nose bit now, because that's fairly straightforward. So I've got myself a bit of card. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Like so. And then I'm going to take a pair of scissors. And I'm just going to cut it in half diagonally. And that gives us a little bent triangle, which we can then glue on there. And that gives us a sort of Orky nose. So that can be glued on as well. So that's pretty sweet. So let's get that glued on now. Just a bit of super glue now. We can use super glue on this if the super glue would actually come out. Oh, come on. You know, this is one of the reasons why I use cheap super glue. Is because if it does get all gooed up and bunged up and you can't use it, this has cost me 12p and I don't mind throwing it away. No, that is gone. Hang on. Aha, I have a spring here. I wonder if I can use it to unclog it a bit. Give it a bit of a bend. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. A bit of technical difficulties. Do. There we go. Right. Stretched out that spring. So put your rabbit in there. Yeah. Gotcha. Get in there. There we go. Let's see if that's worked, shall we? Oh, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Now, where did that bit of cardboard? There it goes. Right, so we just plop a bit of glue on, and we can whack that on. Like so. Nice! Nose. Very good. And then we can glue this one on. And then get the other one chopped up and get that on as well. And then we can start the detailing on this bad boy, which is great. It's always a great position to be in when you can start detailing up a build. So let's plop that approximately there. Let's plonk that on there. That's going to look sweet as. Right. So I'm going to chop up the other one, get that on. Get the eye on. This one here, I think, or this one. Possibly. One or t'other. And then we need some teeth. Oh, we'll get these on as well. We'll get these big lumps as well. So, cool. Let's get those bits on. All right. So, there we go. After a few bits of gribblies stuck on, there's me sort of like my little jaw actuators. There's me big eye beams, and I've got the little nose on, and the start of a worky eye, like a zappy eye, which is quite cool. So, I'm going to add some more details to this, and I'm actually going to use bits of sprue. Just cut down. So, here's a bit here that I've cut out from a model kit, and all I do really is get myself a sharp knife and then just whittle away some of the parts to give it a sort of beat and worn and sort of hammered into place or ripped off another kit look, and then that can be glued on to where we want, and it just provides an extra little bit of dimension and a little bit more detail. So we're going to do that. Where's my super glue? Let's do that now while we're at it. So let's glue these bits on. Just wherever you want. There's no plan to this build whatsoever. It's a beautiful, beautiful a side effect of working on Orky models is, you don't have to have a plan. Well, by the way, if you see any wisps from glue gun, just peel them away while you're doing it, while you're at it. We will go around at one point with a lighter and just burn a lot of them off, just sort of, give them, just quick ones. I mean, obviously we don't want to set fire to this, but we'll give it a bit of a once over. So I might put one up here, because, put them where you like. You know, you can put them anywhere you think, you know, there might be a natural join, or where you might think a bit of structure's been added. But really, you can be as random as you like with them. It's, like I say, it's an Ork build. Just go for it. Just go for your life. Well, you might have seen as well that I've cut out some crenellations as well. So if I use Lieutenant Varus, there'll be places where I can mount some guns at a later date. I'll probably get a bit of card and just edge them out a little bit just to trim them off and make them a little bit neater. So yeah, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on, guys. We are just adding some details now, just to give this a little bit of character, a little bit of fun to it. Taking it to the next level, really. So there's those bits on. You know, I might add a few more bits later, but I just wanted to show you those bits. Now, the next bit we need is some big old toothy pegs around here. Some big old teeth. I've started making them. And I'm making these out of 3mm Foamex. This stuff's brilliant. You can carve it and drill it. It's amazing. So here's one of the teeth I've made. So I've made a couple already. And I'll show you how I've done them as well. Really simple. And we'll use the same technique when we do the big teeth that will come off the side here. So here we go. Again, here's a little bit of a off-cut of Foamex I've got. We need to do a semi-triangular cut. Like so. So we'll cut that off. Cut one more time. This blade is getting a little bit blunt. I'll change it soon. There we go. You can give it a bit of a twist and a cut because we are going to show it now. So it gives you that kind of shape. And then you kind of want to carve the bottom off a little bit. Like so. So that one there. And we don't want it to make it, remember it's Orky, so we don't want it too perfect. So that's been chopped down, and that'll be quite a nice outside edge. And again, we're just going to detail it out the same way we did the plastic bits of sprue. We're just going to go down with a craft knife, just cut some gouges in it, and slice it and bevel some of the edges. Just add a bit of texture. It'd be great when these will all be emphasised when we paint this. It'll look great. You know, just give it that little bit of added dimension and depth and detail. That's what we want, really. We want to take this as far away from, you know, a pot noodle or noodle pot and a cream cheese container with cardboard stuck all over it as much as we can, really. And this is what this does. It just gives you that little layers of detail. Just draw your so they draw your eye away from the base materials. Like so, you can be quite aggressive with this stuff. Like Foamex is great for this. It's a really phenomenal product, especially for chipping and gouging and that kind of thing. And you could even use your nail on it as well. Not sure if you can see, but you can use your nail and put surface detail on it as well. It's really great stuff. And you can just build it up like so. Give it a good old battering. Now, we need to add a little tooth in the front there. Here's one I prepared earlier, but I'm going to trim that down a bit, just so it's got a bit more in common with the piece it's going on to. So let's give that a bit of a trim. So, we don't want a factory edge, so we give that a little bit of a chop up. Couple of dots of super glue. Don't need that much because super glue really sticks to this stuff really well. And then we just plop that on there. And that gives us a nice bit of dimension. And then, I don't know if you can see on these, but there are a couple of rivets. And we'll make those with a little bit of plastic rod. And we'll just lose them as they go. 1, 2. Cut off 2 little knobbly bits there. We'll need a little scrap of something to blob a bit of super glue on. Like so. Sharp knife. Pick up your rivet at the end of the knife. Dab it in the glue. You don't want too much on there. And then just plonk it on, like so. One, I think two will always looks good. They don't have to be straight. Just offset, like so. There you go. That gives us a tooth. So they need sticking on as well. So let's get that done. And then I think we should talk more about rivets, because that's what's going to be next on this bad boy. We need to get it all nicely riveted. Here we go. Okay, the time has come to have a very serious conversation. We need to have a conversation about rivets and how I do them. So I use a lot of different techniques for riveting. These are not the hard and fast rules. There are millions of ways to do it. This is just the way I do it. So the first way is probably the simplest, and it works on card and it works on thin plastic, and that is the negative rivet, as I like to call it. So you get your bit of card, or a bit of plastic card, and you take something like a pen or something similar, and all you need to do, you need another bit of card actually for it to go into, and you literally just, sorry about the wobble everyone, but you've got to do a bit of a wiggle to get it in. And you just push it down, and that gives you a negative rivet. And that's great. If you want to do a lot of rivets around the edge of something, that's quite a good technique. It's quite a cheap technique, but it's not a very proud technique. It's not a huge amount of detail. But that's technique one. Technique two is you buy yourself some little beadies, little half beads these are. If I can find a link to these online, I'll put it below, because I got these in the shop in Cornwall actually. So I'm not sure if I can get them again for you, but if I can find them online, I know the brand, I think it was Anita's possibly, but they're tiny, they're about 2mm. I'll see if I can pick one up and show you. Hang on, let's get my hands behind it so you can see it. Start there you go. Little 2mm rivet head there. So that's another one. The next one, the one I think most people use, is the thin plastic rod, and all you do is you just chop it down. Get yourself a sharp knife to do this. This isn't that sharp, but it stops them from pinging with a sharp knife, and you just slice down little parts like this, like so. And you see that there? No, it's not going to find it to focus on my... There we go. And they can be glued on. So that's section two. And if you do cut them a bit thick, once you've stuck them onto where you're going to, you can file them down with a little file. So that's a good one. So that's that one. You can buy bigger, sort of domed, sticky-on sort of rhinestones. They're a good one if you're making something quite large, like a gargant or a titan, or, a big bit of scenery. So they work. Another one is some pins. Can't get them open. There we go. So get yourself some pins. I think these are something like £4 on Amazon for about 100, 250 of them, something like that. And again, if I can get close up, you got a little pin like so, and you push this into, put the pointy end into the thing, and that just leaves a dome. You can glue them in as well. And then finally, and this is for all you 3D printers out there, you can 3D print some cool little bits and bobs. Like so, what I've done here, let me get these on my fingers so you can see them. I've got little hex bolts and little Phillips heads that I've 3D printed. And, they're quite good as well to add a little bit of detail. Now, the file for those is also in the description below. So if you want to get hold of them, you can. Now, to show those in practice, here we go. So we've got the 3D printed bolts and hex heads. They're the beads, small beads, plastic rod, and that's one of the pins. And you can't see the pin. Hang on, there you go. That's one of the pins. So in practice, I've used them all on this build. So there you go. That is how I do my rivets. So they're on. These are these small teeth at the front. But now I need to do the sort of tusks that come out here. So I've cut one out already, out a bit of Foamex. 3mm Foamex. I've cut that shape out. That's going to go on there. And we're going to decorate it with a bit of Sprue, some cut down Sprue to give it a little bit of depth. What I need to do is quickly just trace this bit onto another piece of Foamex so I can replicate it in some way. Let's try on the bit that's going to be not waste so much. Let's quickly wash that on. Again, it doesn't have to be exact or perfect. It's Orky. So there you go. I'll do that for the next one. So we need to glue that onto there like so. And then but first we're gonna add some plastic rod, Sprue onto here, like so. And we're going to do that by getting some clippers, clipping off some bits of it. We want a couple of bits of the fat one, and we want some of the thinner one, like so. Just shave the ends a little bit, just to get away from the look of that they've been done with clippers. Let's get rid of that. Like so. Flip you around a bit so you can see a bit more what I'm doing. You can't really see what I'm doing there. There you go. So we'll just like so. And then we need to just rough up the surface and the edges a little bit to make them a bit as Orky as we can. Don't have to go too mad. Just apply a little bit of extra detail, a bit of extra texture. So, need to pan that off a bit on there, and then we'll crack out some glue, some cheapy glue, and we'll run a bit. Come on, there we go. Run a bit on there, so we can put that one on there like so. And we'll do this bit, and we'll stick him on like so. And then we can do the other side, and we can bosh that on like that. And there we go, like that. And we'll put a couple of rivets on here. So let's get a little rivet somewhere to put some super glue, like so, on there. If anyone wants to know what this is a cup that I was mixing resin in, and this is the resin at the bottom that I've just popped out. So we'll pick up a rivet. Oh no, on the tip. Come on. And we dab it in the glue. Stick it on. There you go. And we'll use one of the bits of rod. A bit there. Yep. And we use one of the bits of rod on that one. Bead on there. Oh, come on, there we go. And then the bead on there. There you go. One beaded and riveted up, toothy tooth, that will go on there. All I've got to do is the other side and then stick it on, which will be groovy, and then I'll make the other side. So there you go. All riveted up. Well, as many rivets as I want to do. You can go mad, you can go riveting everywhere, but I just think a few choice ones here and there are absolutely fine. So next thing now is just some final details, really. So I'm going to use more bits of my squirt bottles. I need like a sort of mast in here to put like the speakers on. I'm gonna probably go in my bits box and rummage around for some speakery bits to put in there. So I'm going to use this bit here and plonk that in there, and then a bit of Sprue wedged in it like so, like that. and then that's going to sit in there and become a mast. And then I've got these bits here that I'm going to use. I'm going to stick them to the underside here. If you can see that, lighting's not great, but stick them to the underside, and then I'm going to run some cables out into the eye as well. And then I might go around and go through and have a rummage for a few other bits and bobs. But basically, that is construction done. Oh yeah, I've got to make a little eye here. I've got a bit of plastic that I've already cut, like so. So I just need to put like a little vision slit on it as well. So I'll do that with a bit of card. But basically, he's pretty much done. Just some finishing touches, and then on to paint. Yeah, cool.